Hi, and welcome back to the series I started 2 weeks ago called Sneak Peek Behind the Scenes. And today's video is all about my writing process. Hi, my name is Jennifer Gregson, and I am a young adult indie author who has 3 books currently out. You can find them on Amazon's Kindle Unlimited for free. And I am currently writing an urban fantasy series set in New York, which is where I live. So I thought I would literally walk you through pretty much from the beginning to the end what I do every time I sit down to write if I'm at home. So usually I need to have some sort of beverage. Today I have water in one of my Minnie Mouse cups. I make sure that I have my outline. Mine is in another room, so let's just pretend this is my outline. I always have my writer notebook, some sort of fancy pen, and my tarot cards. I always make sure I have all of that. And then I go usually to Amazon Music, but sometimes I go to Spotify and I pick a playlist. Sometimes it's pop culture. Amazon Music calls theirs, and it'll just play like the modern day pop music. So you get a little bit of Lola Young, Harry Styles, Ed Sheeran, Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, Taylor Swift. Like, I get all of those. Or sometimes I will choose one of the channels, and I like to do the Harry Styles channel. Harry Styles, Harry's House literally got me through my last book, Aerial Ambitions. I listened to that over and over and over again. So he kind of inspires me for some odd reason. So I always pick a playlist, and then I will sit down to write, and I will open up Scrivener, and I will look at what I did last. So I will go to the chapter I just finished, and I usually just read the tiniest bit at the end to remind me where I'm at. I like to close my eyes and sort of envision where the main character was, where she's going, and then I open my eyes again after I kind of have the setting in mind. So, for example, on Monday, I just finished a scene where she got asked out by this guy, and they're in front of the karate studio where a bunch of stuff happens. Not karate. Spoiler. And so she's on the street in Brooklyn, and she's walking toward the subway feeling just all sorts of happy pheromones and dopamine before she has to go home and take care of her mom, who is not in the best shape. So I sort of envision that setting, and then I open my eyes and read any notes that I've left for myself, either in my writer tracker or in the Scrivener document or in my notebook. So I kind of look through all of those and just see, did I leave myself any notes that I need to remember? Did I change a character's name? Did I change a location that I need to be aware of? Because I do not go back and edit while I am writing a draft. So in the first chapter, my main character was worried about money and not having a job, and I realized I hated that. So in the second chapter, she had a job. And I didn't go back and fix that. I just wrote a note. Hey, Jen, in the second draft, remember to change chapter 1. Meadow now has a job. That's what I do. So I got the music going. I've got my water. I got the stuff opened. So once I am all set up, I will grab my tarot cards, and I'm going to do this live right here. I will shuffle. I will think about the scene I have to write. So let's say I was writing that scene about her getting asked out by the guy, right? So one of her friend's brothers who she just met. And I'll think about that, and then I will pick a card at random. And I picked the Sun of Pentacles. So the Sun of Pentacles in this deck, the Sun is actually the Knights. So if you know tarot but don't know this deck, she does daughter, son, father, and mother and father, for the queens and the kings. So the Suns are the Knights. So that's all about action taking. And the Pentacles is all about resource and Earth, which is funny because my urban fantasy series is all of the teenage girls have elemental powers, and my main character has the Earth power. So I feel like maybe she should use her power in some way to take action to give her confidence in this interaction that she's not used to. And that is how I will use the tarot deck, and I will keep that card out while I write. Sometimes I just stick it I will stick it somewhere on my computer keyboard, or I'll just put it next to me. or I'll prop it up against my glass of water, but I will keep it handy so that I'm ready to write. So I got my music going, my notes are read, my app is open, and then I choose a reward. So I don't always just write it down. I don't tell anybody, but I usually choose one before I start writing. So if I can get through the next 5 minutes, if I can get through the next 10 minutes, if I can get through the co-writing session, if I can write 2,000 words, whatever it is that I'm trying to do, I pick a reward. Sometimes it's something chocolatey. Sometimes it's just TV time. Like, okay, I'm going to write with this writing group for an hour and a half, and then I'm going to get a cup of tea and watch Gilmore Girls. Or sometimes it's, hey, after I write, I get to lay on the bed for 30 minutes and scroll my favorite social media app. But pick a reward. It doesn't have to cost money. It doesn't have to be anything. It could be I get a sticker on the calendar. It could be I get to brag about it on social media. It could be I get to text my friend and she gets to tell me, hey, good job. But I do that all before I start writing. And none of that takes a long time, right? Like I'm talking about it, it takes a long time. But usually once the sort of timer starts, like in the co-writing sessions, right? We always talk for about, depending on the group, 10 to 20 minutes, and then we start writing. As soon as that timer starts, I usually do this process. Now, I've usually picked my playlist beforehand. It's just not started yet. That's easy. I have my program up. I've usually looked through my notes. I kind of all do that before I even join the meeting. And then we have our little chit chat. The timer starts. Then I will think about the scene, grab my tarot cards, think of my reward, and go. If you would like to hear more about my writing routine, or you would love to keep up with updates about the urban fantasy book, I really encourage you to use the link below to join my newsletter. And when you do, you get the first 3 chapters of my latest novel, Aerial Ambitions, for free. So you can check that out too before you go to Amazon and decide to buy it. And please subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every Friday. I will see you next week. Have a great weekend.